Leaders and members of Otumagbae don't endorse the governorship candidates of the People's Democratic Party, Asue and Ogie Esquire, as their preferred candidates for the 2024 Edo governorship election. The meeting shele for Lagos State, 7th April 2024. The People's Democratic Party governorship candidate Asue Ighodalo contrary salute to the club members for the warm welcome dem give am and say he hope to work with them as team to move Edo forward. Asue Ighodalo constitute mouth on im work as the chairman of Nigeria Breweries and say na matter of urgency make am leave that kind position. E constitute talk say im aim na to carry Edo from where e dey now to become first world state and to also create a secure state. E constitute talk say
a few years earlier, I'd been on the board of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority. And by some chance, the chief of staff to the president at the time had a good bond with us. So there were some infrastructure projects that the government had not completed that he passed on to the Sovereign Wealth Fund to complete. Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, Buja-Kano, Second Niger Bridge, Cancer Center. And I discovered I was a delegatee of a delegatee. But the power I had as a 3-time removed delegatee showed me that public office used for good could influence the lives of so many more people positively than the best private office, no matter how big. As chairman of Nigerian Breweries, maybe I affect the lives of 10,000 people, some distributors, some suppliers, but that's it. As governor of a state, even chairman of a local government, you are affecting the lives, not talking about president of a country, of millions of people. I know that was one little thing that happened when we were in charge of completing the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. I was going to Ibadan on the 22nd of December 2019, and there was this traffic, we had gone down 3rd Mainland Bridge. So by the time I was getting to Oroshoki, I asked one of the workers, what's the problem? He said it's the work that Julius Berger was doing on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road that had dovetailed back. And I said, I was thinking in my head, the person that's going to Onitsha or Owerri, that's inside this traffic now, just before Christmas, when will they get there? So I picked my phone, I called the MD of Julius Berger, and I said, this Christmas period, whatever work you guys are doing, shut it down, open up the road so that people can go. I was just trying my luck. I didn't know he would listen to, but we've been discussing their fees in the last 2 months. So I knew him well. And they were also my clients anyway. So he then said, yes, sir. And true, in 5 minutes, the road opened up. And I started scratching my head. That, if you can use power like this for good, why don't many more of us use it? So that struck me. So when all these issues, after my experience on the Sovereign Wealth Fund, we built a cancer center in Luz, that's one of the best. We built diagnostic centers, and I saw the impact on the lives of people. So when all of this came with all of people talking to me, my mind started kind of truly shifting. I started thinking about coming out of my comfort zone. If you're chairman of Nigerian Breweries, you're watching UEFA every Tuesday. You're there. You're watching Formula One. I just come back from Formula One, and I was talking to all the racing guys. Look, my life is different. Now I'm going to be going to inside the mobile and the back places that was even good. You said, anyway, I protest. Sorry. I saw my life passing from first class seat, first class yacht, first class. I was trying to see myself inside ferry. I said, now wow. Anyway, then one last thing did it. Ogie told me he was coming to see me in Lagos. So I said, what for? He said, there's something we need to discuss that's extremely important. I said, okay, I'm coming to Benin next week. He said, he can't wait till next week. So I said, okay, I said, me, I'm fine, I'll come to Benin. He said, no, he will come. I said, I'll see you tomorrow morning. When I got to Benin, I spent 6 hours with him. And that was the final convincing to run for the office of governor. He said, there was no excuse I didn't make. He said, what you don't know, I will teach you. What you don't have, I will give you. What you don't want, I will take away. There was nothing he didn't say. And no further excuses. So I said, let me go ask my wife. By the time I go home, I think he had also reached my home. Anyway, so yes, so by the time I reached home, my wife just gave me food and said, when are we going to finish? So the rest is now history. And I thank him most sincerely. I thank him. He has been, you know when they say politicians are one kind, he's not one kind. He's the kind of person, and he's reflective of this group. He's a great ambassador of this group. I trust him totally. I've enjoyed particularly the last 5 months working with him. His word is his bond. What he says he will do, he will do. What he says he won't do, he won't do. And when he tells you to do something, he's talking to himself. So I thank you. I look forward to both of us working well as a team in a great partnership for the betterment of the people of Edo State. So as we move Edo State from where it is into the first world, which will bring me to the short thing I want to talk about. I look forward to us working in trust as a team and as true brothers. I really look forward to it. Through my experience in law firm, I ran into many good people. And I found people who then trusted their businesses to me. And I found myself serving as chairman of Dangote Flour, Nigerian Brewery, Sterling Bank, Levin, or different companies. And I could not be further blessed because it was not by my doing. It was not by my doing. I just found that I had favor, and I found favor. The kind of favor I found from the chief. I am truly grateful. So it was not too difficult when I kind of removed myself from the softness of life to want to give back. Because if you've been blessed, you actually should give back. There's really nothing to life more than receiving blessings, but making sure you give back much more than you've received if you can. And I strongly believe that the way I can give back is to do my very best to move our state from where it is today into a first world state. When I first made that statement, many people were wondering, this is another campaign gimmick. It is not a campaign gimmick. Edo State as a sub-national, as a sub-sovereign, can supersede the sovereign. And it has happened before in the world. There are states in India that superseded the sovereign and are dragging the sovereign up now. So India in the last few years, you will see it growing at a phenomenal rate. It happened in Singapore, when Singapore was part of Malaysia before the split. It happened in Australia. So it can happen. And you see, why I'm convinced it can happen in Edo State is because Edo State is blessed differently. We don't always appreciate the level of our blessing in Edo State. Geographical placing. We are really, without doing anything, a logistics hub in Nigeria. Few people travel through Nigeria without spending money in Edo State. Few people. It's only the person that's going from Lagos to Sokoto that may not pass, or if you are not passing the western region area, that won't pass through Edo State, one part of Edo State or the other. And as you pass, you spend money. So that's unarticulated spending. What about where we look at captured spending? We have trailer parks in the 4 entrance areas into Edo State. Just massive trailer parks without doing much. God has also blessed us with deep tradition. Just the institution of the Oba of Benin can, in a secure Edo State, earn us millions of dollars from tourism. Just that institution. Because it's the last revered institution in this country and one of the few revered institutions in Africa. Just that. So what do we need to do? Have a secure Edo State. If we feel secure in Edo State, and tourists can feel secure, Japanese, Americans, particularly the Chinese, they will want to come and see what our tradition looks like. So in December, when we're having our festival, the whole of Benin will be full. And we'll earn humongous resources from tourism. What we need to do is to create safety and security, which for me, is the number one thing that must happen in Edo State. We must create a secure Edo State. If all we do is create a secure Edo State will run by itself. Edo State will multiply and move by itself. Is it our people in the diaspora? If all the diasporans we have just add 1 more thousand each into our economy, just 1 more thousand, makes a massive difference. Why that hasn't happened is that they started losing hope. They started losing hope in the country, and then there are some family issues. I noticed that they will send money home, their brother will die the money. He won't build the house, he won't buy the land. So they stopped sending money home. So they will send money to their father and their mother, if their school fees to be paid, and that's it. They stopped investing because the people they trusted didn't invest. So we need to reawaken that hope and trust. And I know, I've been talking to so many of them, it doesn't make any difference to them to send an extra $1,000 a month, but it makes a lot of difference to us and our economy. So if we look at our tourism institution, if we look at our diaspora remittances alone, Edo State will grow by another 4%. Just that, without even doing very much. Then when we start doing very difficult things, creative thinking, looking for resources, looking for funding, we settle the issue of Ogie Road. Whether it's federal government that builds it, or we build it, that road needs to be built. It goes through 8 local governments, opens up input and output of agriculture, and it starts the process of opening up input and output of manufacturing. Our state must develop by agro-business manufacturing, period. We must produce more than we eat so that what we have left we manufacture. The kind of development we had in the late 50s and the early 60s is what's going to save Nigeria. The states have to start developing, and by peer pressure pull up other states, and in aggregate Nigeria develops. Short of that, we're going nowhere. I can go on and on and on and on. But I'm clear in my mind that we have a chance and a path. And I'm clear in my mind that the people of Edo State deserve much better. They deserve the continuation of the improvements Obaseki has made. They deserve a continuation into a good life. But we ourselves have to take a step back to agree amongst ourselves that we will unitedly work to create that Edo State. We will reduce points of impact and conflict. We should be able to accept, I am sorry I made a mistake. We really should. We should be able to forgive each other and be our brothers and sisters keepers. If we're able to achieve that, then the things that pull us back will stop pulling us back. And we will grow in leaps and bounds. And it is that growth we should focus on. We create a land of milk and honey where happiness fulfills. I tell people, most of you know, you travel abroad. In Norway, there's no poor man. The street sweeper, you finish sweeping, take a shower, enter his Mercedes and drive away. And Norway hasn't earned as much from oil as we have as a country. There are not as many as there are, but still. Nigeria has earned money from oil since 1956 Oloibiri that could have built 7 Dubais. So we could have built like 4 Nigeria. 4 first world Nigeria with what we've earned from oil. So where is that money? What happened to it? What did we use it for? But again, I just want us to think about what could have been to shape as we go forward so that we don't make the same mistakes again. But we're not going to dwell on it. That has gone. That is past. Let's go and look into the future. And that is what we're offering. We're asking the people of Edo State to look at the offerings that they have and to weigh their offerings. And in weighing their offerings, look at the offerings that can truly deliver. The offerings that are not myopic, the offerings that are not self-serving, the offerings that have the capacity and the synergy, and the offerings that are showing that we love the people and we have the experience. If we've achieved it at a personal and general level, why can we not be able to achieve it at a state level, at a sub-national level? I do not see how. You know, politics is a funny thing. And sometimes politics gives results that are massively unexpected. But we're going to work hard to ensure that this particular exercise through September will give the results that we want and that we expect by God's grace. The people of Edo State do not deserve anything less. And we're going to be working 24 hours, 25 hours a day to achieve this. What we ask is please come along with us. Please speak to people on our behalf and please pray for us. Edo State has the capacity to lead Nigeria into the first world, and that's what we want to try and achieve with the talents that Edo State has.
Edobo, Irabo, and other Otumagbae members of Otumagbae can share their opinions and thoughts on wetin dem think the government go fit do to improve and secure the state, and say dem don hear wetin Asue Ighodalo talk, and say make him take note of the promises im dey make.
The importance of he coming and my son bringing him here, the joy. Well, we're not politicians. I'm not a politician. My son, let me tell you about him and us. He has been with us right from the beginning as a member of Otumagbae. He is my son. Whenever I call him, if he doesn't answer my call, I know he's in meeting. 2 minutes after, he will call me, sir. He will call me and say, yes, I will talk to him. I've never begged him to say, give me an appointment, or give me money to take, or give me the... But the joy of what he has said about him, and I know of him also, give me joy that this is a group that we should all be able to. Congratulations.
I am very proud of what I've seen today. Ogie was my husband right now. And from what I knew about him, he's a very responsible person. If I take him for his words, and we believe for you for bringing my son to come and be our governor to be, we believe we are on the correct track. All what I will say to my dear son is I'm grateful that all the vision you have in life, which we are very proud of, God will give you power to do it. And God will give and trust power to you by the word to issue. What I say is this club, passionately because of my husband, I am part of it. I'm not supposed to, but I am. So, if you do something good, we'll be very, very proud of you. We are looking for somebody in Benin. When we go to Benin, this is my children that are looking for security. Okay, can we get a bus? Can we get police? That's one of the good areas you should please impact. For us to be happy to go home at any time. Not looking back to say, are you safe? Am I safe? Do I need transport? What do I do? I beg you, as you have the passion to help the need, God will help you. Amen. All your mind is to do what is good for your country, for Benin, where you come from. God will give you the power and the wisdom to work hard on this. Amen. We will all support you. All these big men here, they are very responsible, amicable, trustworthy people. And this is the best club in the Benin. I wish you all the best. Good luck. My dear brother, all will be successful.
Using Edo to pull up Nigeria, or Edo and some other states. If you check Asia, one of the simple basic things they do when they are coming up, whether Taiwan, whether China, whether Philippines, is clothing. It's simple, but we've approached it in a very complicated way. Clothing in Nigeria is still considered cotton. Clothing is no more cotton. Clothing is now polyester. Polyester is, you can say, is oil, or for the most popular polyester item now, or polyester sauce, is this thing we have here.
Cotton shorts.
Is this thing PET. You can, the state, either directly or by getting investors, can process it into yarn and into textile, it doesn't have to be the state government, but it's something that can be organized, either for private investors to come in. And that one will give you, the end part of it is what is called the garment industry, which is probably the highest employer of labor in most of these rising countries. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. I think it's easy. Let us just, nobody has really looked at it. Abak will tend to look at it a little, but when they look at it, it's like, it's the old way. It's simple, it's not too expensive. Once we get this into yarn, into fabric, all those empty houses or empty flats around Benin, you see people, we all buy 2 or 3 machines. We have small garment factories. I think that is what the government can look into.
I want to ask, I'm a businessman. I truck things from Lagos all the way to the east and of course to Warri. That the government should, your coming in government should look critically. Of course, it's very difficult to see leaders who take pen and paper in such a position. This is enviable. I believe, I may be wrong, that state governments can make roads and the federal pay them back like what Wike did. The bypass. Some time ago, I had the opportunity of having a trailer that slept there 3 months. The contract was almost cancelled. It can be worked and becomes a big call for money for Edo State. By the time I was driving to Agbo, I stayed on that road between, I think it is where you have the Western Boys High School, I think. To get to the end of it took us 17 hours. We had to go back to Benin to sleep. If a state government does that, you said that there are 4 ways into Benin. There is no state in Nigeria that has 4-way in. No. Benin is too central. I've never seen any state like that in the country. There's not. So for me, Benin, you can go to virtually everywhere in this country. And I think the state deserves much more with respect to just roads. Thank you, sir. I hope this will be in your diary and then this can be implemented for federal government people.
I resigned recently as managing director Africa for a multinational to focus on my real estate business. And what we're beginning to see, nobody likes to talk about it in public space, in this state, is a shift to now name everyone else who's not Yoruba as Omoibo. We're beginning to see delays in approvals, or when you, for example, apply for building plan approval or a CFO, if your name doesn't bear a Inca or something. And I told myself, as a very personal strategy, that each time I put money in this state, I'm making this state richer.
Yeah.
Because to survey one plot from here to Ibeji, right now, a plot of less than 1,000 square meters, you pay ₦1 million. It's ₦1 million.
No, it's 1.5 now.
You know? And I say, if I put that money back in my state, those states, because the truth is, many of us those days when you graduate and you have a good degree, you want to go to Lagos because that was the place that presented us with more opportunities for employment. And that's why we have all the braids here in Lagos, you know, and we need to start going back. I've looked at the needs of our state, and of all the needs we have, 3 are most critical. Madam has mentioned security. The second one is employment, you know, and then third one is power. I envy Abia State right now with the way they're tackling power. And I'm hoping that we will do more of the kind of power plants that the Obaseki government has built in so if we do that and locate it in, perhaps take the geographical zones and just put one each, you know, so that we're taking off the grid. Thank God for the Power Reforms Act that has been passed, so we shouldn't depend on the discos and the kinds of things they used to do. So, Your Excellency, you have, as an individual, my support. I'm going to, after this meeting, for example, call the youth leaders of the communities where I have influence. I've started investing back in Edo. I put my money there. We have 2 estates already, starting in both Uwo and Obazak. So we're going to do more of that. And we need the support of your government when you come in that regard, because what we've had in the state in the past is that you buy land, and before you come back, the community has encroached. Because when they finish selling the land, they now see your land and say, how can one man have 200 plots here? Whereas you paid for it, you bought it, you even have, thank God for Obaseki's regime, CFO is so seamless now. I ask everybody here, apply for a CFO, I always get mine within 3 months or less. So you have that, and yet they still harass you, they want more money all the time. So we need you to help that because it will help investment in that state.
Yes, I'm meeting Asue for the very first time, but not okay, for almost 30 years. We have been friends, and we will continue to be friends. Incidentally, and sadly, the only opportunity we get to meet is at functions like this. It's either we are so comfortable we are not reaching out to one another, or maybe there will not be that critical needs to reach one another. But I've known him to be a very responsible and reliable character. Now, going further, that's what has articulated, and he has mapped out his programs, his ideas for the state. He will be so gratifying to my heart if all he has said today, if he had actually put them on paper. Because to speak, like as I'm speaking now, it's so easy, but can I remember these things that I'm saying tomorrow? If he has done that, then we have the best state, waiting for us. We have a very good state waiting for us in another 1 year. That we just put out from his heart, seeing our faces. That we may be going back to where we are coming from. So, Asue, God will bless you.
Amen.
The great intellect, intelligence, and the wisdom he has given to you, God continue to strengthen it too.
Amen.
But please articulate this very well, so that in the next 4 years, we are likely to meet in a forum like this. And some of us who are complimenting you now, who are actually welcoming you now, we are going to say, actually, you did very well. Because we took note of what you said, I'm sure you took note too, to start marking. But this area, like called Obaseki, who are also happen to be my friend, we were friends before he became governor. We have crossed paths in several areas before he became governor. And when he was contesting, and people were saying, well, this man is not a politician. I said he's a man of his word. If he says anything, he will do it. And to the glory of God, he has not disappointed me, and I'm sure he has not disappointed you. So I want to take that also from you. I mean, I'm sure both of you are also friends and pals together. Yeah? You are very well put together. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to be associated with you. Yes, you are meeting me, but you have reached 1,000 people. Because I'm going to share this, like the president said, I'm going to send him to them. I mean, and he will be going with you. Amen. God continue to strengthen you and keep you.
I want to remind our incoming governor. First time I met him when he came to our church, I was ushered and welcomed him from Christ Church. Pastor Itwa, your younger brother, is my pastor, he's my pastor, and we continue to meet. I don't want to talk about Ogie because he's my brother. We come from the same place and we practice in the same place. And we've always worked might. I'm sorry, I see the way the questions are going. It looks like a post-election meeting. I'm so eager and passionate, and I'm so passionate about these two coming to government that I'm so worried that I'm not even thinking of what to do. I'm thinking of how to get in. Because like we say, we might be very hopeful that we were during the African Cup of Nations. But my worries, my passion for my learned senior Asue and my brother Ogie is actually for us to actually brainstorm more for them to become government. You understand? So what I'm actually trying to say is that I want us to use this forum to add to their campaign strategy. I've heard all the beautiful things he has said. I've heard all the good things I know they can do. But I'm sorry, I just have to touch on some source because I'm already on the streets campaigning. I'm already on the streets in Lagos and in Benin campaigning. Whether, like somebody asked me, say, which party are you? I said, I don't know. I know I'm from Asue. He said, which party? I said, wherever they are, that's where I am. So, with my learned seniors and chiefs here, I just want us to be very sure that they are already governors. And what I just want to say is just a suggestion, and so that we don't take it for granted. From my market survey and what I've been doing, I'm going on the streets, I just want to remind them that we must touch on a very particular thing. And I want to think they are doing on it, they're working on it. I just want us to work more to reconcile with the palace.
The last once Olympics, Commonwealth Games, I hear the young jumper from Delta States. I hear Usoro. I hear Govunor. I hear the other statement. When I was growing up, those used to be units. I know Asue tried, and they tried to get us back to that level. And then please, now if you get the chance, that should be the easiest thing to do. Because I am also aware you know also the other person have done for cricket in those days. And I'm sure they don't can do the sports. We plenty of a lot of money as well. So that's what I'm interested in the sports and it's going to be so easy to have.
The very first, which is power. Power is the very first. If we have power 24 hours, all of that is will fall into place. My friend's younger brother here, Obasanjo, was saying is the number 2, is the number 1. That was why the husband called it power. It wasn't called power for mere power's sake. If we have power, wherever you are, you can see even before the enemy strikes. You can see before the enemy strikes, you can see it. Power. Because there will be CCTV cameras everywhere. And then the so-called industries will tap power from there. And we have the resources to do that. What are the resources? Hydro. What is the hydro? We have rivers everywhere. We are blessed with rivers. So this is my little contribution. We pray that you get there and then you listen to us when you get there. Thank you very much.
My incoming, you are blessed. We thank God that you have come here today to express your feeling and desire for your state. Particularly my brother that I've known for over 30 years now, Ogie, that you have described very well, very humble and accessible. Like you said, you never go to his house and any security man tells you where are you going. Whether you want to go and kill him or you want to go and they'll tell you how to go inside. So I thank you for that, and your humbleness will continue to promote you. My only suggestion I want to say, I want to beg of this team, the incoming governor and the deputy governor, is before, when I was growing up, I do technical college. Benin technical college used to be very, it was hard all over the place. Everywhere you go. In Benin, at that time, a Benin boy or an Edo boy is an electrician, he's a plumber, he's a tiler, he's an electrician, he's all the technicalities. We find them. But today, none of them. No Benin boy, no Edo boy is in technical business. All of them are right now, a lot of them, I do a lot of building, I'm interested in building, I do a lot. I hardly see any of them. Well, I will continue to look at again, but we have it. So I will be glad if we can revamp them very well. I find a way of discouraging them from traveling. They are really suffering now. There's nothing happening there. Discourage them in making so much money because these boys and other technical boys from other states they are really ripping us off. The Togolese, they are beating up us in the tiling business, in the POP business. I don't know whether you have any Benin boy that know how to do tiles or POP boy. I don't know whether you have any Benin boy that know how to do plastering. So we want you to really, so that these children can be very strong, and with those guys, we will develop very fast.
For one talk session, the Presido Chief Bright Ogbebo, the Osagwabaro of Benin Kingdom, and the Vice Presido ESV Osaro Egwasa come throw a salute to Asue Igodalo and Osarodion Ogie for their visit to the club and come here and say they invite them sake of say them know their worth and say them get full confidence say them go work for the good of Edo people.
Yeah, the visit was very interesting today. He has told us all his intentions, his manifesto. He has really portioned them out, and we're very glad that all what he said he was going to do is going to be better for the betterment of Edo State. And I know at the end of the day, Edo State will be better for it. So I enjoyed everybody, both in and out of Edo State, please support the candidacy of PDP, Asue for his mission.
Make una not forget say, as we see him, now so we did talk him. We know they take blame. From Lagos State, Ekata Ogie, TMC TV News.